What's up, YouTube? We're back with another video. We've been talking about 2K23 almost every single stream that we're doing on YouTube. I'm so excited for it. It comes out in a couple days. I am pumped. And they started releasing information about 2K23. A lot of things have come out about it. And one of the things that I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to spend some time talking about it, was player ratings. So in today's video, we're actually going to go over the top 10 overall ratings for 2K players. I want to kind of look at it, see if I think anyone is deserving of a higher rating, somebody that maybe I think is rated too high, and we'll kind of go over this one by one here. So as you can see here, the number one rated player on all of 2K23 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's at a 97. So 97 is the highest rating for active NBA players. No historical players, no MJ, no nothing, but active NBA players. Giannis, number one. And I'm going to be completely honest with you right now and say, well deserved. Giannis is absolutely crazy. I do think there's aspects of his game that they maybe emphasize too much and exaggerate a little too much on 2K. But overall, I mean, if there is a 97 in the league, it is Giannis. He's got everything that you want somebody to have, and if he improves his jump shooting and that translates over to the game, oh, Lord help everybody in the league. All right, number two, LeBron James. Now, as you can see, he's rated tied with multiple different people. Now, LeBron, a lot of people are going to say, hey, he's too old. He's on his decline. LeBron still has crazy stats and what he produces at his age. It's absolutely insane what he can do. I don't think he's rated too high. And in fact, if he was rated the same as Giannis, I wouldn't even be mad. Until he actually shows that he's not a 96 overall, well, then you got to give it to him. It doesn't matter how old this man is. If he's producing, he's got the skill set, you got to give it to him. Stephen Curry, 96 overall. Stephen Curry, I mean, the aspects of his game is he's so multi-dimensional, but everyone kind of sees him as that three-point shooter, but he's got the dribbling. He does get steals, not a lot, but he does get it, so his steal rating should definitely be higher. He's got the IQ, which is absolutely insane. So he's got a lot of aspects of his game that should be very well received on NBA2K, and so 96 overall I think is well deserved on him as well. Really, I mean, I imagine his three-point shooting is like a 97 to a 99, somewhere in that range. I think he brings a lot to the game outside of just that, but that one stat alone puts him way up there. Right, his ball handling, passing, things like that as well. Finishing even. He's got some crazy finishing. So I think with all that combined, he definitely deserves a 96 overall as well. Now, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant in 96 overall. Flaws in his game, other than, which doesn't translate to 2K, doesn't want to be on a team for a certain length of time before he finally buys in and decides to stay with the team. I mean, outside of that, there are no weaknesses in his game. He's back from his injury full force. He has crazy stats if you take a look at it. And if you just watch his game, he's got dribbling, shooting, finishing, defense. He blocks a ton of shots, grabs rebounds. I mean, he facilitates. He can do everything. Plus, he's, gigantic. He's like 7 foot, right? So, if anything, I think Kevin Durant might actually be a little underrated. Now, these numbers, if you don't know 2K too well, these numbers do fluctuate up and down based on performance of the year. And if he comes out of the gates firing, I really do see his number going up 1, maybe 2 points as well, being tied for number one, or even maybe overtaking number one if he actually outperforms Giannis and has a crazy year. Nikola Jokic, 96. Jokic, I think the only thing that you could statistically think maybe is hurting him is just defense. Overall, I think his game is crazy. He's obviously a 2-time MVP, going nuts in the league, taking over stuff. Doesn't do a lot in the playoffs when it comes down to it, but he really does bring a lot to the game. And when he translates over to 2K, I mean, his stats and his attributes are insane for this type of game, right? So he's got the shooting, passing as a big guy. Oh my gosh, passing. He does have dribbling as well, which is kind of crazy. He's got a post-up game. He's got some defense, but really that's like the one weakness in his game. IQ off the charts. 96. I think it's actually pinpoint. Joel Embiid. Oh, Embiid. Now, if there's anyone that I think I could put up there in that tier as well with Giannis and Kevin Durant would be Embiid. He's crazy. He's got defense, shooting, dribbling as a big guy. Oh my gosh. He does have passing, but he's not a huge facilitator. Obviously, as we see in his game, he's got the IQ. I love his intensity as well. I know it's not really a metric and an attribute in 2K, but his intensity is crazy. 96 overall, absolutely. If not, he might even be worthy of being tied with Giannis at 97 with Kevin Durant as well. I think those three right now, based on this list that we have, those three should definitely be the top, and then everyone else below him. All right, next, Luka Doncic, 95 overall. Okay, let's talk about Luka's strengths. Luka's got dribbling. He's got some athleticism, some sneaky athleticism. Shooting, obviously. Mid-range, finishing, three-pointer, all the scoring that you want. Defense, I think he's actually improving on defense, but I don't think his effort is honestly there when you take a look at the game. Obviously, he leads the team. He's a #1 player on Dallas. I think he might be a little high at 95. I think there's a little, the Luka magic is maybe a little bit of Luka goggles, blinding people's vision a little bit based on overall attributes. I think his defensive side of the game is so much of a liability that he should maybe be a 92, 93 overall versus a 95, over some of these other players. I definitely think he should be on the top 10. I just don't think it's a 95. Kawhi Leonard. Okay. If we are saying Kawhi Leonard's attributes are based on past year's performances, absolutely. I do think they should have started him off lower, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I wouldn't even mind him not being in the top 10, being a 91, 92 to start the year, just because we don't know how he's going to come back. Like I said, basing it off of, history, I mean, Kawhi's crazy. He could be, 96 as well, just based on his overall attributes that he's brought to the game over the years. But right now, I think we have to judge his attributes based on, like the more conservative side of things. I don't know who he's going to be when he comes back. I don't think anybody does. So I would be more inclined to say like 91, 92, start it off and let him build up from there, just being more realistic to start the year. I do think he is overrated. Ja Morant. Ja Morant, I think as well, I'm going to say it, I think he is vastly, vastly overrated on this game right now. I think he should be a 90, 91 maybe. And the reason is he has stretches where he's fantastic, and he had a pretty good year I mean, for the majority of the year is really good. He kind of fell off towards the end, but overall, I don't think Ja is at a 93 yet. I think this is the year, in the NBA where he gets to that next step, where he's a 93 to 95 going into 2K24. I think he's overrated right now. He's the he's the love child right now of the NBA. He's the one that everyone's looking at going like, oh, Ja's crazy. He's doing all this stuff. I mean, he's got the craziest highlights, of course, but highlights aren't attributes. And I think we really have to take a look at it and say a 90, 91 overall. I think he is overrated just because people like to see his highlights, watch his game, because he's fun to watch. He's got those like cool moments, but overall attribute wise, I don't think he's there. Jason Tatum, a 93. Hey, you know what? He took his team to the finals. He's got a lot of strong attributes in his game. I'm glad that they didn't really punish him for the NBA finals and the overall turnovers. I'd like to see what his rating is when it comes to turnovers, but because in the playoffs, I mean, what, he set the record for most turnovers in the NBA playoffs for out of anybody ever in history. But no, I think he absolutely is a 93. I wouldn't be mad if they said a 91 to a 93, but I think a 93 definitely is justified. He's got so many strengths, dribbling, shooting, defense even. He gets a lot of rebounds as well. He's got good size. I mean, there's a lot that he brings to the game, and I think he's definitely deserving of a 93. Jimmy Butler, a 93. I think Jimmy Butler, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I think he gets a lot of flack and not a lot of praise, even when he does the right things. I think he is underrated, which is crazy to say because he gets a ton of love, but I honestly think he's underrated and his game is underrated. Attribute-wise, 93 overall. I am not upset about it. I definitely think he's got so many aspects of his game. His mid-range is crazy. He's gotten more consistent with his three-point shooting. His defense obviously is off the charts. He can lock up pretty much anybody, gets rebounds, facilitates even at this point in his career. So I think he's definitely deserving of a 93. Now, anyone not on the list that I think should be on the list, I think overall the list is pretty good. I don't think this is going to be the list by the end of the year. I'm hoping, now I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I'm hoping my boy Damian Lillard comes back strong, has a great year, and gets on this list. You know, AD, if he comes back healthy, he definitely could be on this list as well. I'm curious to see how Karl Anthony Towns does this year. I think he has potential to continue to grow and get to the 91, 92, maybe even rise above that if he has a crazy year. I think there's a lot of up and coming people. I mean, like Anthony Edwards, he won't be there, even though he could have a crazy year, but I think he'd be like a 90 next year. Because I think a lot of this comes down to consistency over the years instead of just one crazy year. Except if you're looking at like Ja, right? Which is, he had 1.5 good years so far, like crazy years. He's had a good career so far, but I think 1.5 years, the last 1.5 years, he's really kind of stepped up to that next level, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's absolutely insane, which he is, honestly. I'd love to have him on the Blazers, but yeah, overall, yeah. So anyone I take off the list, probably John Morant for now, or at least put him at the bottom. But I think overall, like I said, I think this list is pretty good. I think 2K did really well with it. There's some players that others would want to see on there. You could say like James Harden. People would like to see on there. Yeah, I mean, realistically, like I said, I can't think of anyone I'd put on the list over any of these people. So overall, I think they did a really good job. I'm excited to see what happens this year. Who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? Who's going to have a breakout year and go up, 5-6 points like we see every single year? I'm really excited for it, guys. So that's it. This is the top 10 rated players in NBA 2K23. The game releases on Friday. So guys, if you haven't gotten your copy yet, make sure you guys grab a copy. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment down below on your thoughts on the ratings as well. All right, see you later, guys.